Hi, happy Tuesday. My name is Elis, for those who don't know me, and we're gonna go through a power flow this morning. So make sure you have plenty of space around you, if you can. It's not necessary, otherwise make sure you don't have anything dangerous. If you're playing around on the upside down, try to be creative with props. So if you don't have straps or brakes at home, which is totally normal, feel free to use a t-shirt, ties, or maybe boxes, or wherever you can find around the house. Books are quite handy actually and useful. Make sure you have a pillow if you're playing around, learning how to get into your crow, for example, or if you want to move to a restorative ending at the end. Otherwise, come to find a comfortable seated position for a moment, taking the time to arrive into the space, reconnecting with your body, checking in. We'll wait one more minute for everyone else to join us. If there is anything you want to share with me, you can tap it on the chat next to the video, so you can quickly write me down something if there is anything I need to know. Otherwise, if you're dealing with something, feel free to adapt your the sequence. Feel free to take whatever option you want to take. You feel like taking it at the moment, and try to stay connected with your breath during the whole sequence. So whenever you feel you're getting out of breath, you're struggling, holding on to the pose, feel free to release, go back to your breath, take your child pose maybe to rest, and then catch up with the flow. You have plenty of time to try, plenty of time to explore your practice, so take it slowly, following your breath pace. So finding a seated position, maybe sitting over a brick or over your pillow, releasing down your thighs, releasing your shoulders, having your hips higher than your knees. And just start to acknowledge the space around you, noticing new smells, sounds, noises, anything around you, just to be aware of the space. Maybe feeling the texture of the mat below your hips, or the pillow between your hips and the ground. And once you're aware of the space around you, start to go back to the body, checking in with your body, scanning from your feet up to the crown of your head. Try to notice how you're feeling today. How's your energy level? How's your mood? Keeping your eyes closed, try to be aware of every single sensation moving through the body. And bring your attention toward the physicality of your breath. Feeling the warm air moving up through the lungs, your rib cage expanding every time you inhale, and the warm air moving up to the throat, out through the nose every time you exhale. Taking a deep inhale in through the nose, exhale everything out through your mouth. Again, inhale in through the nose, let it go through your mouth. And keeping your lips sealed on your next exhale, take a deep inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 2 more rounds on your own. Trying to lengthen the exhales as much as you can, releasing down your nervous system, preparing your body and your mind for your practice today. And bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra, your prayer mudra in front of your chest, with your shoulders relaxed, elbows alongside your rib cage. Come to set up your bhakti, your dedication for your practice today. It can be anything you're working on, or you can dedicate your practice to someone in particular. Just find that something that allows your mind to stay still and focused during this hour of practice you're dedicating to your body, to your mind. And releasing through your hands, blink open your eyes and sliding your hands toward your right side. Come to find your downward facing dog. If this is your first downward facing dog of the day, take just a moment to land into the mat, to reconnect with your body, releasing your heels, your calves, your hamstrings, sending your tailbone to the sky, lengthen your spine one vertebra at a time toward the crown of your head, relaxing your shoulders, finding the activation into your bicep and forearms, and start to spread the weight within all 10 fingers so you don't collapse into your wrist. Try to really open up your fingers, spread them wide like pancakes down on your mat, pushing the ground away, pushing your heels to the back. Don't worry if your heels are not touching the ground on downward facing dog. Find the extension through the legs, freestyle a little bit if you want to. Just to checking in, see how you're feeling. Keeping your neck completely relaxed. And coming to your tippy toes, walk your feet toward your hands, finding a gentle forward fold. And catching opposite elbows, take your rolls from side to side. Releasing your neck, releasing your spine, keeping a soft bend into your knees. And releasing down through your arms. Start to uncurl your spine one vertebra at a time. Be very slow here. You're moving through honey until you find your standing position, your mountain pose. And grounding through the four corners of your feet. Start to activate through the quads, lifting your belly away from your thighs, sending your belly bottom toward your spine. So you engage your mula bandha, your root lock, using your lower abdominal muscles, and you engage your uddiyana bandha, your belly lock. So you control your legs by using your abdominal muscles, releasing down through your shoulders, extending your hands toward your thighs, and start to engage your ujjayi breath if you have one in your practice, creating that waving sound behind your throat. Strong ujjayi breath. Take 2 deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, reach your hands up to the sky, Surya Namaskara. Hey, have fun everyone. Exhale, forward fold to your Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, ground your hands, step your right leg back, step your left leg back. Find your high level plank. We'll take 3 deep breaths here, making sure that your belly is away from your thighs. And then you're not collapsing with your hips. Stay up, push the ground away, activate through your forearms and bicep, and gently releasing your knees, your belly and your chest. Come all the way down to the ground and reaching your hands in line with your ears, your elbows in line with your shoulders. Lift your toes, lift your thighs. Find your Shalabhasana, send your elbows to the back, opening your upper body, strengthening your lower back, squeezing through the glutes. And gently releasing your hands in line with your chest. Slide your hips toward your heels. Find your child pose. Keeping a hectic child pose. Lift your elbows away from the ground. Reaching the top of your mat with your fingers. Releasing your belly to the thighs. And pushing the ground away. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Breathing in for 1. Open up your chest toward the ground. Breathing in for 2, send your thighs to the back, keeping your quads active. Breathing in for 3, keep your lead sealed on the exhale so you build that heat into your body. On your next inhale, prepare. Exhale, step your left leg forward, step your right leg forward. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to the sky, and on the exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hands, step your left leg back, step your right leg back, high level plank. 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling for 1, broaden the space between your shoulder blades, so really push the ground away. Inhaling for 2, keep your core active, your quads active, strong line here. 1 more deep breath. And gently release your knees, your belly and your chest. Come all the way down to the ground. This time keep your hands in line with your chest. Feet flat on the ground and taking an inhale. Shine your heart forward. Find your Bhujangasana, your cobra pose. Exhale, tuck your toes back. Downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Breathing in for 1. Keep your feet as wide as your hips or maybe wider. Breathing in for 2. Keep your neck relaxed, your shoulders relaxed. Breathing in for 3. Spread your fingers wide, pushing the top of the mat away from you. On your next inhale, prepare. Exhale, step or float at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to the sky. Exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hand, lean forward and float back to your Chaturanga Dandasana this time. Feel free to release your knees if you're building up strength. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Take your upper facing dog this time. Exhale, it's back. Downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And try to switch during your vinyasa today within Cobra, Shalabhasana and Upper Dog. So you work different muscles on your body. Try to open up different parts into your upper body, strengthening to the lower back. And on your next inhale, where you are, walk your feet a tiny bit and take a shorter downward facing dog. And sliding your shoulders over your wrist, drilling your hands to the ground. Take 3 or 4 bunny hops with control, using your lower abdominal muscles to control the descent of your legs so you land smoothly at the top of your mat. You don't want to make any sound. Give it a try. Take 3 or 4 bunny hops here, using your core, using your Mula Bandha to land smoothly on your feet. Once you reach the top of your mat, take a deep inhale to lengthen up your spine, and on the exhale, fall down to your Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your hands alongside your ears, find your chair pose, and on the exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine, exhale, ground your hand, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper facing dog, exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky, bend your right knee to open, exhale, level your hips, right knee toward your forehead, arch your spine. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, right knee toward your forehead. Stay here for 3. Squeeze your shin toward your chest for 2. Arch your spine like a hungry cat, pushing the ground away for 1. And gently release your right foot between your hands. Release your left knee to the ground. Find your low lunge this time. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up. Open up your chest. Exhale, release your hands, lift your left knee, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward, open up your chest. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky, bend your left knee to open. Exhale, level your hips, left knee toward your forehead. Be very slow here. Inhale, send it back with control. Exhale, left knee toward your forehead. Stay here for 3. Squeeze that left shin through the chest for 2. Use your core, pushing the ground away for 1. Gently place your left foot between your hands. Release your right knee to the ground, low lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up, bicep behind your ears. Exhale, release your hands, flame your left foot, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward, switch your vinyasa when you can. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. Option 1, you take 3 breaths here. Option 2, you release your forearms down to the ground and you take your dolphin pose, making sure that you're not collapsing with your shoulders, walking your feet closer to your elbows so you build up strength into your bicep and shoulders. Tuning with your breath, go back to that 4 breath count we did at the beginning of the practice. Keep that in mind. And whenever you're ready, from where you are, go back to your downward facing dog. And taking an inhale to prepare, on the exhale, step or float at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your hands alongside your ears. And on the exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hand, lean forward, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, it's back, downward facing dog. From here, reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend your right knee to open. And on the exhale, level your hips, right knee toward your right bicep. You can stay here or you can bend your elbows, taking your first hand balance. Maybe extending through your legs.
using your core. Your head is away from the ground, don't collapse. One more breath here, release your left leg, reach your right leg up to prepare. Exhale, right knee across the body towards your left elbow, releasing your right foot to the ground, reaching your left hand up, taking your fallen star. Maybe you lift your right foot away from the ground. 2 deep breaths here, use your core to hold on to the pose. For 1, gently release your left hand to the ground, reach your right leg up, exhale, right foot between your hands, release your left knee to the ground. Inhale, take your low lunge, open up your chest. Exhale, release your hands, frame your right foot, float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, expand, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky, bend your left knee to open. Exhale, level your hips, left knee, left bicep. You can stay here or you can bend your elbows, Chaturanga arms, lifting up your right leg for your balance, using your core. Strong core here, pointing through the toes and releasing your right leg to the ground. Reach your left leg up. Exhale, left knee across the body towards your right bicep. Releasing your left foot to the ground. Reaching your right hand up. And you can stay here or you can lift your left leg away from the ground. 4, 3. Push the ground away with your left arm. 4, 2. One more breath here. Gently release your right hand to the ground, reach your left leg up. Exhale, left foot between your hands, low lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to open. Exhale, release your hands, frame your left foot, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upper dog. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. You can take 3 breaths here. Or again, you can lower on your forearms, taking your dolphin, building up strength, opening up your upper body. Walking your feet as close as you can to the elbows. Soften down your breath. Taking 1 more deep breath here. Gently on your own time, from where you are, come to find your downward facing dog. Then taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, step or float at the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, reach up to your chair pose. And on the exhale, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, ground your hand, lean forward, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky to open. Exhale, level your hips, right foot between your hands. High level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up. And on the exhale, twist your lunge to the right. Looking over your right middle finger, extend through your arms. Holding here for 2 deep breaths. For 1, inhale, wimble your hands to the front, frame your right foot, float back to your vinyasa, smoothly and with control. Keep tuning in with your breath through your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky, bend your left knee to open. Exhale, level your hips, left foot between your hands. High level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up. And on the exhale, twist your lunge to the left, opening up your chest, reaching through your left fingers, reaching through your right fingers, lifting your tailbone up, lift your spine to the ceiling. Inhale, wimble your hands, frame your left foot, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. 1 more time. Inhale, right foot forward between your hands. Reach your hands up, high level lunge, reach the ceiling. Exhale, twist your lunge to the right, holding him for 3. Try to level through your arms, opening up your chest for 2. Tailbone to the ground, spine up to the ceiling. For 1, inhale, wimble your hands, frame your right foot, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward between your hands. Reach your hands all the way up. Exhale, twist to the left, looking over your left middle finger. Breathing in for 3, releasing down through your right hip. For 2, opening up your chest. For 1, inhale, wimble your hands, frame your left foot, and float back smoothly to your vinyasa. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. Soften down your breath, releasing down through your breath. And from your downward facing dog, Take an inhale and roll forward to your high level plank. Holding your plank, you can stay here, or you can extend your right arm alongside your right ear for 3. Maybe you lift your left heel away from the ground for 2. Use your core to hold on into the pose. 1 more here. Gently release your right hand, release your left foot, stay here. Inhale, extend your left arm over your left ear. You can stay here, or you lift your right heel for 3. Push your right heel to the back for 2. Reach your left fingers forward for 1. Gently release your left hand, release your right leg, and slowly move through your vinyasa. With control, we're gonna meet in downward facing dog. Soften down your breath. And you can again stay here. You can release your forearms to the ground, coming to your dolphin, maybe lifting one leg at a time. Or you can release down to your child pose, relaxing your belly toward your thighs, extending your hands forward, having your knees as wide as the mat. Tuning in with your breath 1 more time. Soften down through the exhale. And whenever you're ready from where you are, find your downward facing dog. And taking an inhale to prepare, exhale, step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen up your spine. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, extend your hands alongside your heels. Find your chair pose and stay here for 3. Try to squeeze your thighs, bringing your weight toward your heels for 2. Imagine you're holding a ball between your hands. Extend your arms. 1 more deep breath here. And gently interlace your fingers behind you. Lift your chest to open and release your belly through the thighs for your Ardha Uttanasana. You can stay here or you can come into your tippy toes for 3. Open up your chest. Keep your neck long. Release your thighs toward the back for 2. Taking 1 more deep breath here. And gently release your hands down to the ground. Step your feet wide. Find your Malasana squat. Take a moment to release your inner thighs here. Find space through the thighs. And you can stay here for 5, or you can extend your hands forward. And bringing your knees behind your armpit, you lean forward. And you float up on your crow pose. If you have a tripod transition, you release your head to the ground. And you lift your feet up. Otherwise, if you're learning how to get into your crow, have a pillow in front of you, or if you have books or bricks, you can have them this way, and releasing your forehead to the brick. You lift 1 leg at a time. Slowly, you play around, exploring your practice. The more you try, the more you get familiar with the poses. Take your time, and from wherever you are, as soon as you're ready, take an inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, float back to your vinyasa. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, take an inhale, reaching your right leg up to the sky, and bending your right knee. Find your vaulting, reaching your right hand up to the ceiling, lifting your hips and your chest. So make sure you find a deep opening on the right side. If you have a full wheel transition, you can take your full wheel. Make sure you know how to come back from it. Otherwise, keep breathing here, pushing your left hand to the ground. And on your next inhale, release your right hand to the ground. Reach your right leg up and placing your right foot between your hands. Ground your left heel. Wimble your hands to find your warrior 2. Looking over your right middle finger, lengthening up to the spine. Releasing down your right inner thigh. Strong arms, strong legs. Both legs are equally pushing the ground away. Both arms are equally active. Imagine you're holding something on top of your fingers. Try to go deeper into the lunge, opening up your chest. 1 more deep breath here. On your next inhale, turn your right palm to the sky. Your legs don't move. Exhale, reverse your warrior, reaching your left calf with your left hand, or maybe catching the outside of your right thigh. Maybe you lift your right heel away from the ground. Keep an option, lifting up to the chest. Try to not collapse to the back. Always try to lead up instead of going backwards. So you really give space to the spine, to the front of your body. Are you breathing? Make sure you're breathing here. Taking 1 more deep breath. On your next inhale, go back to your warrior. Extend your arms. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Shuffle your right knee a bit to the side and taking an inhale, reach your chest up. And on the exhale, you fall down to your humble warrior. Hands over your head, right shoulder inside your right knee. releasing down through your right inner thigh, grounding through your left foot. Don't forget about your back leg. That's the most important bit, so always ground your back leg. And on your next inhale, use your core, reach all the way back up. Extend your right leg, extend your arms. Inhale, you go long with the right side of the body, reach forward. And on the exhale, you fall to your triangle pose. And you can stay here, option 1. Option 2, you slide your left arm behind you, catching the outside of your right eye, taking a bind. Or maybe you extend your right arm alongside your right here. Breathing in for 3, going long with the right side of the body. Keep grounding both legs equally, 4, 2. Keep opening your chest to the sky, 4, 1. And softly, you can take your bind, you can keep your bind. Bending through your right knee. Try to bring your right hand forward in front of you. Stepping your left foot a tiny bit in, so you take a shorter Trikonasana. And bringing your right hand in front below your right shoulder, you lean forward and you step up to your half moon pose. If bind is not available here, extend your arm to the ceiling, or you can keep it on your left hip. Make sure your left foot is flexed though, so you find activation through the lifted leg, finding stability to the standing leg. Maybe you can bend your left knee, getting your Shavasana, opening up your chest, opening up to your left foot. Are you breathing? Make sure you're breathing here. And gently releasing your right leg. Release your left leg at the back of the mat. And place your right hand inside your right knee. Inhale, extend your left arm over your left ear. And you can stay here for 5, releasing down to your right inner thigh. Or you can slide your left arm behind you. Right arm comes from below and you catch your bind coming with me. Looking over your right big toe, take an inhale. And on the exhale, place your left foot forward. And on your next inhale with control, drag your right leg up to your bird of paradise, finding a standing position. Maybe you extend your right leg. Maybe you don't, doesn't matter, that's not the point of the pose. But try to keep your spine tall, your chest open, don't collapse, don't cave in. And gently releasing your right leg slowly at the top. Release your left leg at the back of the mat. And releasing your bind or your extended side angle. Place both hands to the ground. Framing through your right foot. And come to find your low lunge. Reaching your hands all the way up to the ceiling. Opening up your chest. And interlacing your fingers behind you. Take an inhale to open. And on the exhale, lean forward. And with control, you drag your left leg. And you float up to your warrior 3 pose. Pushing your left heel to the back. Trying to level your hips to the mat. Grounding through your standing leg. Keeping an opening into your chest. Breathing in, are you breathing? And gently release your hands down to the ground. Point your left leg up to the sky and you find your standing split. Try to walk your hands a little bit closer to your right heel. Don't go anywhere yet, stay here with me. Try to level through the hips, pointing to your left toes. Option 1, you stay here, maybe catching the edges of your mat and you lower your head. Option 2, you walk your hands a little bit forward. And leaning forward, find that lift. You want to control the lift. And maybe you take a tiny step up to your handstand. Maybe you take just tiny hell shakes, like this, reaching up. Hell shakes with control. Take the time to explore your practice, play around. If you have walls, feel free to have walls. Make sure there's nothing dangerous behind you. Otherwise, if you're still on your standing split on your own time, take the time to flow back to your vinyasa. Same from handstand, if you're taking time for your handstand, whenever you're ready, see if you can float back smoothly to your vinyasa. And we're gonna meet in downward facing dog. Softening down to your breath here. Take a moment to release. And from your downward facing dog, roll forward to your high level plank. And releasing your knees, your belly and your chest. Come all the way down to the ground. Interlace your fingers behind you. And taking an inhale, shine your heart forward, lift your chest, and squeezing your glutes, lift your toes, point your toes, open up your chest, breathing in for 3. Try to lead with your chest here. Breathing in for 2, imagine someone is pulling your hands from behind. One more deep breath here. And gently release all the way down to the ground. Take a moment, shake your hips from side to side. And placing your hands in front of you, come to find a Sphinx pose here. Elbows are below your shoulders. Find stability through the hands. And tucking your toes, take a knee now. And on the exhale, lift your belly away from your thighs. And turning both feet to the left side, lift your left hand up to the ceiling. You can stay here or you can step your left foot on top of your right foot, finding your forearm side plank, leading with your hips. Find the activation between those tiny muscles that are between your shoulder blades. Use those muscles so you don't collapse into your joints. Strong right forearm here, reaching your left fingers to the ceiling. And softly release your left hand down to the ground. Release your hips, shake your feet. Take a moment to land into your pose. Then you can stay here, or maybe you can interlace your fingers in front of you, or hold something between your hands if you have that tool, and pushing the ground away, tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your downward facing dog, and walking your feet as close as you can toward your elbows, you come to find your dolphin. Option 1, you tap your forehead to the brick. Option 2, you lift one leg at a time. With control, maybe you step into your pincha. Try to not kick up, but try to drag your hips over your shoulders. Don't kick up wildly. Try to step into your pincha, into your inversion. Feel free to use a wall if you have a wall. Take your time. Don't sacrifice your breath to get into the pose. Make sure you can keep that connection with your breath. And whenever you're ready, float back to your vinyasa or take your child pose. Releasing down your belly toward your thighs. Softening down to your breath. Go back to that 4 breath count. And whenever you're ready, from where you are, tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, reach your left leg up to the sky. And bending your left knee, come to find your wild thing. Reaching your chest to the ceiling, lifting your hips. If you have a full wheel transition, you can take your full wheel transition. Otherwise, staying here, make sure you can fully breathe. One more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, release your left hand down to the ground. Reach your left leg up and placing your left foot between your hands. Ground your right foot and wimbling your hands up to the sky, you find your warrior 2. Landing smoothly on your warrior 2. Releasing down your left inner thigh. Make sure you're not caving in with your left knee. Find that external rotation. Use your glutes. Ground both legs equally. Lengthen through the spine. Extending your arms. Reaching through the fingers. Softening down through your breath. Relaxing down through your shoulders. And on your next inhale, turn your left palm to the sky. Exhale, reverse your warrior without changing the placement of your legs. Opening up your chest, maybe catching the outside of your left thigh. Maybe you lift your left heel away from the ground to go deeper into the lunge. Make sure you're leading with your chest. Don't collapse to the right. Keep going up instead of collapsing backward. Softening down through the exhale. And gently releasing down your pose. Extend your arms. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, reach your chest all the way up. And on the exhale, you fall down to your humble warrior. Don't worry about reaching the ground with your head. Make sure your back leg is active and stable. Make sure you're not caving in with your left knee. Opening up your chest. Make sure you can fully breathe here. And on your next inhale, use your core to reach all the way back up. Extend your left leg. Extend your arms. Inhale, lean forward with the left side of the body. And on the exhale, you release your left hand, you reach your right hand up, you find your Uttita Trikonasana. And you can stay here, or you slide your right hand, catching the outside of your left thigh. And you can extend your left arm alongside your left ear. Breathing in for 3, going along with the left side of the body. Breathing in for 2, make sure both legs are active. Squeeze your glutes and your quads. Breathing in for 1, open your chest to the ceiling. And you can keep your bind here, bending your left knee, going forward to your half moon. Or you can place your right hand on your right hip, left hand in front of you, stepping your right foot a tiny bit in, and taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, you lift up to your Ardha Chandrasana, to your half moon pose, pushing your right foot to the back, opening up your chest. Then you can stay here, or you can bend your right knee, catching your right heel with your right hand to open up your chest, to release down your right quad. Are you breathing? Gently release your right foot, release it at the back of the mat, and placing your left hand inside your left foot, extend your right arm over your right here, and you can stay here for 5 breaths, or you can slide your right hand behind, left hand below your left thigh, catching your bind. You come with me, looking over your left big toe, step your right foot forward, and taking a knee now, drag your right leg up, finding your vertical paradise maybe you just stay here, maybe you just extend your leg, make sure you're opening up your chest, don't collapse with your spine, make sure your spine is long before extending the leg. Are you breathing? Make sure you can fully breathe. Softly bend your left knee, place your left foot down to the ground, step your right leg back, and releasing your hands down, frame your left foot, lift your right heel away from the ground and prepare for your high level lunge. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up to open up through the lunge, belly away from your left eye, and interlacing your fingers behind you, take an inhale to prepare. And on the exhale, lean forward and with control, step your right leg up, finding your warrior tree pose, using your arms to open up your chest. So find that pull through the arms, find the activation of your lifted leg, pushing your right heel to the back, and softly release your hands down to the ground. Point your right toes to the sky, you find your standing split, opening up your chest, releasing down the back of your left leg, and you can stay here, or maybe again you walk your hands forward and leaning forward into your left tippy toes. Find that lift, bring your weight over your wrist, use your shoulders, and you step up to your handstand with control. Maybe you take tiny L shapes like this, doesn't matter. The leg that leads the step, it's the lifted leg. And then you can bend the knee of the leg on the ground so you can find a tiny lift. Even 1 centimeter away from the ground, it's working on your handstand. So give it a try. Take your time as much as you need to, play around. Otherwise, if you need to release down to your child pose or take your vinyasa, feel free to do so. Take your time wherever you are. And once you're ready, come to find your downward facing dog. And from here, take an inhale to roll forward to your plank. And on the exhale, release your knees, your belly, and your chest. And come all the way down to the ground. This time, reach your hands in line with your ears once again. Find a cactus shape. And flexing your wrist. Keep your hands smooth. Just lift your hands. Your hands are smooth. Just shake your wrist like this. And taking an inhale to prepare. On the exhale, reach your chest, point your toes, lift your thighs. You're again on your Shalabhasana. Breathing in for 3, for 2 to open up your chest, for 1, and on your next inhale, reach your hands forward. Imagine you need to catch something in front of you. Stay up, squeeze through the glutes, point through your toes, reach forward, lengthen up through your spine. 1 more deep breath here. And gently release down to the ground. Shake your hips from side to side. Take a moment to release. And placing your hands in front of you, find your forearm shape once again, your Sphinx pose, elbows below your shoulders. And taking an inhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your forearm plank. And turning your feet to the right this time, reach your right hand up. You can stay here, or you can step your right foot on top of the left foot. Make sure you have that banana shape with your legs, with your hips. Make sure you're using those tiny muscles between your shoulder blades to hold on into the pose, activating through your bicep, reaching your fingers to the ceiling. 1 more breath here, and gently release your right hand to the ground, release your hips. Take a moment to release, shake your hips from side to side. And placing your hands here, again interlacing your fingers, or holding a break, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and lifting your hips to the ceiling, walk your feet as close as you can to your elbows, and playing around. This time maybe lift the opposite leg with control to step up. Try to not kick up wildly. Maybe take a different hand variation, playing around with your dolphin, and make sure you're not collapsing with your shoulders. Your shoulders are away from your ears, so you push your forearms to the ground and you find that lift, you find that control through your bicep. Push the ground away, dragging your hips over your shoulders. And whenever you're ready to release, come to find your child pose. Softening down your breath, taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale everything out through your mouth. And pushing the ground away. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, find your downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, simple float your feet outside your hands, finding again that Malasana squat, releasing down through your inner thighs. And catching your big toes with your toothless fingers, turn your feet facing forward and come to extend your legs, lengthening out through your spine. And gently fall down here, softening down your neck, softening down your shoulders. Keep releasing down through your breath. And releasing your hands down to the ground. Bring your right foot in center between your hands and step your left leg backward. And sliding your hands toward your hips, come to find a standing pose. This time you can take a reverse prayer between your shoulder blades, so you can just catch opposite elbows. And taking an inhale to reach your chest up. On the exhale, you lean forward with control, and then you fall toward your pyramid pose, making sure that you feel a deep stretch behind your right leg, but you're grounding your back leg to give stability through the pose. Both legs are active, both feet are equally pushing the ground away. And gently bending through your right knee, place your hands inside your right foot and lifting your left heel away from the ground, you find your ninja pose. Bringing your hands in front of your chest, finding stability and taking an inhale, smoothly move across the mat. You can use your hands or you can keep them in prayer. Exhale, bend your left knee, extend your right leg. Inhale, you're moving through, honey. Be very slow. Exhale, bend your right knee, extend your left leg. One more. Inhale, move across the mat. Bend your left knee, extend your right leg. And on your next one, move across the mat. Stay in center, stay here. Release down through your goddess pose. Release down through your inner thighs. And gently placing your hands, framing your right foot, release your left knee to the ground. Find your low lunge once again. Interlacing your fingers behind you, take an inhale to open. And on the exhale, reach your chest all the way up to the sky. Breathing and fully here, releasing toward your right knee. Releasing through your left hip. Keep leading with your chest. Softening down your breath. And gently come back to center, frame through your right foot. And you can extend your right leg, sending your hip to over your left knee. And stay here, flexing through your right foot, leading with your chest. Or maybe pushing the ground away, you slide your left leg backward. And you find your full split. Try to not collapse into your flexibility though. If you can easily access the pose, try to build that strength still. Send your left hip forward, your right hip backward, pushing the ground away, opening up your chest. Are you breathing? And gently release your left knee down to the ground. Slide your left leg backward, framing through your right foot. Bringing your hands toward your right knee, sliding your left knee forward. See if you can bend your left leg and catch your left foot, your left heel with your left hand. And you can stay here to going deeper into the stretch of your left quad. Or maybe you can slide your left foot inside your left elbow. That's very intense pose, so be aware of any sensation on your knees. Don't push anything too much. If you have any other variation, you can take your variation. Otherwise, just stay here trying to level your hips to the front. And gently release your back leg. Frame your right foot, lifting your left knee all the way up. Walk your hands all the way across the mat, coming to the back of the mat. And grounding through your right leg. Slide your hands toward the hips, come to find a standing position. And this time you can again take a reverse prayer, or you can catch opposite elbows once again. And taking an inhale to reach your chest all the way up. On the exhale, lean forward and fall down to your pyramid pose. Make sure you're grounding your back leg. That gives you stability. while you open up the front, the back of your left leg, pushing your left toes to the mat, and releasing your hands down to the ground. Lift your heel, then release down your right knee to the ground, finding your lunge, interlacing your fingers behind you. Take a knee now, reach your chest up, go long with the ceiling, reach the ceiling, don't collapse backward. Find space into the front of your body. Are you breathing? And gently release your hands down to the ground. Slide your right hip over your right heel, and extending through your left leg, you find your half split. Inhale, reach your chest up and fold, and stay here for 5. Or walking your hands a little bit backward. If you have brakes, use your brakes. Otherwise, tucking your right toes, slide your right leg backward, and you find your split. Leading with your chest, relaxing through your shoulders. Try to not collapse into your flexibility once again. Send that right hip forward, send that left hip backward. Build up strength into your hamstrings. You don't want them to be only flexible. You want them to be strong. Reaching up with your chest. And gently walking your hands forward, slide your right knee back forward, slide your left leg backward, finding your lunge once again, placing your hands into your left knee, find that release into your right hip. Option 1, you stay here. Option 2, you bend your right foot and you catch your right foot. Make sure it's at the bottom of your right thigh, not on your kneecap. Maybe you can go deeper, sliding it inside your elbows. You can take any variation you want to take if you have it. Otherwise, just stay here. That's a very advanced variation, so don't worry. Just feel the stretch into your right quad, reaching your chest forward, and releasing down through your right leg. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, and walking your hands again to the center of your mat. Turn your feet facing forward and taking an inhale to lengthen up your spine. On the exhale, you fall down to your prasarita, releasing down to your neck, finding the deep stretch behind your thigh. And if you want to walk your hands backward, having them in line with your heels, and you can release your head to the ground, you can reach up now to your straddle, lift to your head, stand to your tripod. Otherwise, just stay here. And on your next inhale, place your hands into your hips, reach all the way up to standing, interlacing your fingers behind you. Take an inhale to open up your chest. And on the exhale, you fall down to your prasarita, finding the extension into your arms to open up your chest, releasing down the back of your legs, softening down your breath, release your hands down to the ground. And from here, option 1, you walk your hands back. Actually, let's all do it together. Bend your knees a little bit and walking your hands backward as far as you can go. You can either lean backward, gently bringing your weight into your fingers and release down to the ground, easy peasy. Or if you want to take a arm balance, you walk your hands backward and leaning backward, using your core, you bend your elbows. Maybe you lift one leg, maybe the other. Maybe you lift both legs and you stay up and gently release down to the ground and sliding your hands inside your thighs. Take an inhale, reach your chest up. And on the exhale, you fall to your Upavishta Konasana. If you want to sit over a brick, a book, or a pillow here, you have a forward tilt on your pelvis, so you go longer with your chest. Do that. If you're very flexible, again, don't collapse into your flexibility. Find an external rotation into your thigh. Find the opening into your chest. Softening down your breath. And gently uncurl your spine, come all the way back up to seated and catching the outside of your thighs, bend your knees, bring your legs forward and facing the front of your mat, releasing down through your legs, taking an inhale, reach your chest up, and on the exhale you fall down to your forward fold. Don't worry about catching your heels, your shins or your toes. You can just have your hands flat on the ground, finding the deep stretch behind your legs, flexing through your feet, softening down your breath, and walking your hands all the way back. Place your hands below your shoulders. Your fingers are facing your hips, hands below your shoulders, pointing through your toes. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, lift your hips up and find your reverse plank. Option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, you bend your knees and you take your reverse tabletop. If you do that, try to bring your weight forward, squeezing through the glutes, lifting through the hips, opening up through the chest, Maybe releasing your head. If you're in your side reverse plank, stay there for 2, for 1, and softly pay attention. Come with me. Don't release the pose. Slide your hips behind your wrist. Go backward. And you can stay here for 5, pushing the ground away using your core. Or maybe you lift one leg at a time. Maybe you lift both legs and you stay here. Or bring them together for 3. I know. For 2. Use your core. For 1. And gently release down to the ground. Slide your hips a little bit forward. And hugging the outside of your thighs. Lift your shins in line with the mat. And you land on your Navasana. Extending your hands alongside your shoulders. Keeping your thighs together. Squeeze your thighs together. Lifting up through the chest. Maybe extending through the legs. Don't collapse into your lumbar. For 3. Keep opening up your chest. For 2. Breathing in smoothly. For 1. Gently release down to the ground. Reach your legs up and extend your hands over your ears. Taking a knee now, lift your shoulders away from the ground. Come forward. And on the exhale, release your legs but don't touch the ground. Inhale, lift your legs up. Exhale, release your hands over your ears. Inhale, lift your hands, lift your shoulders. Exhale, release your legs, don't touch the ground. Inhale, lift your legs. Exhale, release your arms. One more. Inhale, lift your shoulders and arms. Exhale, point your toes. Stay here for 4. Keep holding on through the core. For 3. Keep reaching your toes with your fingers. For 2. Use your core here. For 1. Softly go back to your Navasana. You can take 5 on Navasana, or you can hug your shins. Take your vinyasa and play around with your handstand one more time. If you're playing around with your handstand after your core exercise, it should be easier. Try again to find the arch into the spine, and maybe again lifting one leg at a time, playing with your L shapes, or maybe staying up. If you're taking your Navasana, when you're ready, hug your shins through the chest and take your last vinyasa. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, whenever you're ready, step or flow to a seated position and releasing down through your thighs. Bring your feet together to touch, lifting up through your chest, relaxing to your shoulders, and taking an inhale in to open. On the exhale, lean forward and fall down to your Baddha Konasana, releasing down through your inner thighs, softening down to your breath. Try to use your elbows to release your thighs. Don't worry if your knees don't touch the ground. Don't worry if your feet are not close to your head. You can have them way farther forward. That's totally fine. Keep leading with your chest. And gently release your pose and curl your spine. And placing your feet flat on the ground, come to lower down on your back, releasing all the way down to the ground. Brushing your heels with your fingers, so make sure your feet are hips wide apart. The soles of your feet is flat on the ground. And opening up your arms in a cactus shape. Stay here with me and taking an inhale. On the exhale, lift your hips. Push through the glutes. Come to find your bridge pose. And pushing your shoulders firmly to the ground. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, extend your right leg. Push your right heel forward. Keeping your knees level. That's very important. Keep your hips level. That's very important too. Squeeze through your left glute. Push your left foot to the ground. Pushing both shoulders equally to the ground so your hips are level. I know. Keep squeezing. Keep pushing with your right heel. And staying up with your hips. Place your right foot to the ground. And gently extend your left leg. Pushing your left heel forward. Your right glute should be on fire right now. Keep pushing your right heel to the ground. Squeeze through your right glute. Keep your chest open. Hips level. Knees level, breathing in, and gently release your left foot, release your spine slowly to the ground, wimble your legs from side to side. Option 1, you can take your bridge from here. Option 2, this time you extend your hands, you place your fingers toward your shoulders, elbows in, fingers out, and pushing your feet to the ground, you take an inhale, move through the hips first, and on the exhale, you open up your chest, finding your full will. Taking 5 deep breaths here, making sure you're looking to the fingers so your neck is relaxed. Don't look up. If you're taking your bridge, take your bridge. If you want to move to a restorative bridge, you can place something, a book or a pillow, between your sacrum and the ground, and you release down, extending your legs and extending your arms over your ears, softening down to your breath. If you're in your full will, after your 5 breaths, bring your chin toward your chest, and on your own time, come to release down to the ground. Again, wimble your legs from side to side, softening down to your lower back. And from here, if you want to take another wheel variation, this time, once you reach up, you place the crown of your head to the ground. And once you're here, you release your forearms. And then you lift your head. So you use your shoulder blades to open, going a little bit deeper into your back bend, pushing through the glutes, so really squeeze through your glutes. Otherwise, if you're releasing down to your bridge, if you're taking a restorative bridge, make sure your body's fully long. If you're in your forearms and if you want to try to lift one leg at a time, again, feel free to try. Take a moment to release. If you're on your bridge, again, sending your tailbone to the heels. Lift your hips, not your belly, so you're not using your lumbar, but you use your glutes. And from where you are, on your own time, come to release down to the ground, releasing completely down on your lower back. And keeping your hands in a cactus shape, place your right knee on top of your left knee and sliding your hips to the right. So try to go as far to the right as you can go. You fold over your left hand side, looking over your right shoulder, so your hips are in line with your shoulders. Your spine is aligned here on your twist, looking over to the right, making sure both shoulders are flat on the ground. Softening down to your breath. If you want to close your eyes for a moment, going back to that 4 breath count. Releasing down to your spine. Releasing down to your chest. And on your next inhale, bring your legs back to center. Bring your hips back to center. This time, place your left knee on top of your right knee and sliding your hips all the way up to the left side of the mat. Fold over the right hand side so you keep looking over the left. Your head goes on the same way your hips are going. Your knees are on the opposite way. So you really find that twist into your middle back and lower back. You're not using your upper body at all. Your shoulders are flat on the ground. You really want to release your lower back, especially after back bends. So soften down to your breath. Lengthen to the exhale. And gently bring your legs back to center and hugging the outside of your thighs. Come to take your rolls up and down, walking on your spine until you either place your feet over your head or you roll forward, and once you move to a kneeling position, you prepare for your headstand. If you're bringing your feet over your head, make sure your shoulders are flat and you can lift one leg up to the ceiling, holding from your rib cage, not from your hips, for your shoulder stand. Otherwise, if you found your kneeling position and you're coming with me, bring your hands, your forearms flat on the ground, exactly like we were doing in dolphin, and interlacing through the fingers. Have a smooth interlace, not a strong grip. Placing the crown of your head to the ground, holding the back of your head. Make sure you're not on your forehead, but on the crown of your head. Tucking your toes, you lift your hips and you walk your feet close to your elbows, bending one knee at a time, maybe bending both knees, and you raise up with control to your headstand. Make sure you don't have too much weight on your neck. Make sure you have stability through your forearms, and make sure you can take at least 5 deep breaths there, 10 breaths if you are on your shoulder stand. If you need to use a wall for that, feel free to use a wall, that's totally fine. If you're on your shoulder stand, don't turn your head from side to side ever. There's so much weight on your shoulders and neck that you want to stay still. Keep looking at your belly button, keep looking at your big toes. Softening down your breath. And if you're on your shoulder stand, start to release your feet back over your head. Maybe releasing your knees over your ears. If you are on your headstand, take your time and slowly start to make your way down to the ground, taking your child pose, holding 5 deep breaths on your child pose, releasing down through your breath. If you're releasing from your shoulder stand, releasing through the knees, keep supporting your lower back unless your feet are totally flat on the ground, and releasing down your spine. Come to find your way to the ground, bending your knees, catching the outside of your feet. Come to release with your happy baby. Softening down, massaging your lower back. If you're in your child pose from your headstand, make your way down on your back and come to find your happy baby as well. So you release down one last time, your inner thighs. If you have any variation, you can slide your right shoulder inside your right thigh. Coming here, maybe placing your left foot to the ground, staying here for a moment. If you manage to bring your foot a little bit farther, feel free to go anywhere. If you have more of an advanced practice, that's totally fine. Feel free to explore. Otherwise, gently bring your left knee back up and sliding your left shoulder inside your left thigh. Come to place your right foot on the ground and you can stay here. So you just release your inner thigh. Otherwise, if you have any other variation, you can bring your leg a little bit far upper, maybe behind your neck one day. Not warm enough on my case, so I'm not gonna demo that now, but if you have it on your practice, feel free to explore. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, once you catch the outside of your feet and you're releasing, bring the soles of your feet together, place them down on the mat, keep your knees as wide on your butterfly shape, and placing one hand over your belly, one hand over your chest. Close your eyes and taking a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale everything out through the mouth. Again, inhale in through the nose. Exhale everything out through your mouth. And keeping your eyes closed, take a deep inhale in for 1, 2, 3. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take 2 more on your own. Lengthening the exhales as much as you can, so you start to release completely down for your Shavasana. If you want to stay down a little bit longer, feel free to stay down. There's no rush. If you have nowhere to be, anything else to do, take your time and enjoy your Shavasana. Feel free to turn the video off and rest. Otherwise, if you're coming up me, start to bring attention toward your body and take a moment to focus on your energy level once again. Feel the energy flow moving across your energy channels through the body.
Feel your blood flow within your veins, from your toes, from your fingers, up to the legs, moving through the arms, up to the chest, to your heart center. And try to feel it for a moment instead of thinking about it. Be present. Don't think about what you're gonna do next. Forget about what you just did. Try to be present in the moment for just a tiny seconds. Feel your body, feel your breath. And releasing down your head from side to side. Take one last deep stretch, extending your arms over your ears, pointing to your toes. And sliding your knees toward your chest, hug your shins, taking 3 rolls from side to side. Folding over your right or your left hand side, however you prefer, that's totally fine. And on your own time, come to find a comfortable seated position with your legs crossed, your eyes closed. Bringing your hands in prayer in front of your chest, going back to your Anjali Mudra, your prayer mudra. Going back to your bhakti, to the dedication you set up at the beginning of the practice. And going back to your breath, checking in once again, how's your mood after your practice? How do you feel? And being grateful for having the opportunity and the time to practice, although the situation. Give yourself a big thank you for putting so much effort into it. We are isolated but united through this amazing practice, which is a special gift we should be grateful for. Thank you so much everyone for letting me guide you through the practice today. Have a safe rest of the week. Jai Ma. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, if there is anything you want to share with me, or if you want to get in touch, feel free to contact me. You can write something on the chat next to the video, or you can drop me a message at Elis and Yoga. It's my Instagram, and you can message me and share whatever you want to share. I'm happy to help you. I have plenty of time at the moment, so yes, feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, thank you so much. Bye.